That's it. Riot Games with a new season, Spirit Blossom.
I'm Paul, aka Pebra.
And I'm Andre, also known as Meddler.
Today is April 1st, and we're back to talk to you all about some of our plans for Season 2.
We're
Now, if you
recording
haven't
it
seen
on
the two
April 1st, huh?
cinematics, you should probably pause now and go watch them, because we will be referring to them a number of times in this video.
Okay, if you're still here, let's talk spoilers. Last season, we watched everyone's favorite Noxian frenemies, LeBlanc and Vladimir, plan, plot, and scheme. Now we're headed to Ionia to find the powerful weapon they've been seeking. But we're not just going to Ionia. We're arriving just in time for the bloom of the rare Spirit Blossom flowers and the Ionian festival that celebrates them.
Spirit Blossom is one of our favorite thematics, and based on what we've heard from you over the years, it's one of yours too. Also importantly though, it's a canon event in Runeterra, meaning that the festival takes place in Ionia with each bloom. Now with each season, we set out to create distinct thematic experiences that touch almost every aspect of League, from gameplay to skins, a new champion, to a metagame, for example.
So for Season 2 of 2025, we'll be continuing to refine our approach with many of these things and a few other surprises further out.
Let's get to the point, guys, come on.
Disruptive Summoner's Rift gameplay changes for the start of each year, and then tune and iterate on those changes throughout the year so that we're providing a more stable and competitive experience. That means for Season 2 this time, for example, we're putting our focus a bit elsewhere, a lot of it on game modes this time.
Game modes?
We do, though, have some meaningful Summoner's Rift changes coming this season still, and we're going to hand over to Riot Froxon now. We'll walk you through those next.
That's it.
Hey everyone, today I want to talk a bit about the Summoner's Rift gameplay changes that are coming at the start of Season 2. We've heard your concerns about objective overload.
Yes, that was one of the things I said.
Help find a healthy balance, in addition to a few other adjustments we have coming for Spirit Blossom.
Okay.
First up, Articon.
Articon?
In Season 1, we made changes to Articon's two forms, so you would see Voracious less often than Ruinous. And while we saw a good initial reaction
Voracious is disaster, remove it. Remove it.
How often Voracious Articon spawns in pro games, and how game warping his buff is.
It's completely useless.
We're getting rid of Voracious Articon,
nice.
And he'll have only one form, Thornbound.
Okay.
While he won't look different from Ruinous Articon, he will have adjusted rewards. In addition to the Bloody Roses, the team who kills Articon receives all unclaimed roses on the map, and all of their Bloody Petals are purified into Spirit Petals, which grant 25% increased effect. Additionally, the team will also get a spiritual purification buff for the rest of the game that slows and damages nearby enemies and champions.
Wait, hold on, let me read this again.
Which grant 25%
25% increase effects on all plants. Additionally, the team will also get
purification buff for the rest of the game.
Slows and damages nearby enemies and champion kill.
I think will be a more satisfying effect.
That's like a gene trap effect.
We also have some adjustments for the void objectives based on feedback.
Okay, first of all, this sounds kind of absurd. Like, sure, maybe they're making Articon a little bit more interesting, but those are some crazy buffs. No, the first thing, you get all the roses on the map that are unclaimed. That's totally fine. Usually that's not a lot of them. I don't think this is a huge swing. 25% increase effect on Articon plants is a pretty big effect. Because I remember when roses were first introduced to League, they nerfed them specifically because they were too strong. Now we're kind of like undoing the nerf for the team that got Articon.
Wow,
so like
that sounds really balanced.
So now the Articon,
you get 3 levels.
So the Articon importance is just going up a lot here. Like, just up a lot, honestly. And it's already pretty strong. You get like 1 to 2 levels, especially on the scaling champ like Vladimir or Kale. If you have it in the game, it's like massive for them.
Around objectives,
and then the whole thing about slow effect on a kill, I think, depends how strong this will be. But this is like another thing where I think it's going to actually be meaningful in a lot of cases. It's like how I imagine it's just like a gene trap, right? When the champion dies, but without the damage. And yeah, I mean, I just think this sounds too OP, no? Like I feel like the objective is fairly balanced and we're just giving it a lot of buffs. Like this will just make the objective even stronger, which I think will probably too strong.
By enemies and champion kill.
Let's read the next one.
Satisfying effect. Outside of Articon, we also have some adjustments for the void objectives based on feedback we've seen around objectives driving game pacing, especially before the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, there's too many objectives. No landing phase.
To spawn a single time, which will be a bit later in the game. This should allow everyone to focus more on laning and ganking.
So if that means that Void Grubs, the first ones, will not spawn at minute 6, right, like they do now, that means that like in competitive play in high elo, probably every single jungler is gonna pair bot lane. Because right now we have the LCK meta where they push like 4 waves and they swap to top lane because then they're there on the first Grub spawn. With Grubs not spawning anymore and Jake is the only object in the map, like everyone's gonna just pair bot lane.
rather than prioritizing early objectives. We're also moving the Rift Herald spawn time up to 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and right now it's 16, right? If I'm not mistaken.
And making it generally harder to avoid her damage.
Okay, generally harder to avoid her damage. I kind of like that change because like a lot of good players, they kite out the Herald really well and then they proc the eye and kite it out. You can literally take almost no damage doing the Herald. So this, I think, is a good change.
A place we've seen a lot of feedback on is the bounty system. One of the main issues is that it sometimes feels like you have a bounty when your team is behind.
They did fix that a lot recently.
Bounty system more accurate, which should help bounties feel like they're only on when your team has a lead.
I really do think the bounty system was absolutely terrible when they first introduced it. And right now, this is the best bounty system we've had in League in the last 15 years. Right now. I really think, like, based on my experience of playing games, it actually, like, is very rarely wrong now. Or it's not as ridiculous as it used to be.
Outside of objectives and bounties, we're making a small change to the jungle and support roles.
Oh my god, nerf.
Select,
please nerf.
Only junglers will have access to smite.
Okay, I know what's happening here.
Assigned.
Yeah, okay, so they're gonna make it so you only have one smite per team. The player who will be assigned to jungler, right? And you'll be able to swap roles in champion select. This will essentially remove every single off-meta strategy with Bard top lane or like Ivern top lane with smite or Ivern support with smite or some Shaco smite somewhere or whatever the hell. All of these strategies will be removed, which I don't know. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. It depends how you look at it, right? Like, I don't think it's a bad thing that this type of strategies exist, but it's also not a good thing if they're too strong, in my opinion. Riot just simply wants League of Legends to be an ADC, a support, one jungler, and a mid laner and a top laner. This is how they want the game to be.
Additionally, supports will automatically be given world atlas at load-in. Our goal is to try and...
So I believe this also means that, I mean, I could be wrong here, but I believe this also means that only the support, the person who's assigned support in champion select, will be the only one with the support item. So I'm not sure if you can buy a support item later in the game. This one I'm kind of like also feeling weird about because there are legitimate reasons to buy support item when you are behind. Like, especially with, like, let me give you an example. In competitive play, you play a Zilan, you're rich to items, you don't want to take any farm anymore. It's actually good to buy support item and you feed all the farm to your top laner, jungler, and ADC. This is a completely viable strategy and I feel kind of bad that they're removing it, but I also get that, like, this way there's a lot of trolling with double support items and this and that, so I don't know.
Use certain types of trolling, and oops, my team doesn't have smite lol, lock-in failures. We're adding the ability to swap roles in champ select, so you can still ask nicely to trade. And if you're an unsealed spellbook bard enjoyer, don't worry, you'll still be able to get smite in game. We believe the ability to do this will discourage the pro play lane swap problem we saw in Season 1, without directly impacting the rest of us normies. Finally,
what did they mean pro play season what?
Gray screen with a new spectator UI and adding kill streak sound effects that will play for your ears only when you participate in takedowns. And add normies.
Wow.
Sound effects that will play for your
kill streak sound effects that will play for your ears only. Why would they do that? Is that because they will be able to sell different custom sound effects perhaps? Is that why? I think so, right? That's literally so they can sell it. So it's like Valorant or what? Okay. And then we're replacing grayscreen with a new spectator UI. That one I'm kind of weird about. Why is that the thing? Maybe it's because like grayscreen discourages people in a way. Maybe demotivates them and they want to like change that. I'm not sure. I mean, it just depends what the new spectator UI will look like, right?
Placing only when you participate in takedowns. We have a dev blog out now that goes into more detail about the gameplay changes that you'll see when you load into the Rift at the start of Season 2. So be sure to check it out.
Hey everyone.
I mean, honestly, most of the changes here that they talked about are probably good. Okay, let's keep going.
I'm just a capybara, a director of product management. You can call me Drew. League is at its best when you're surrounded by people who are positive and play their best. But when you have someone inting, grafing, or running it down for fun, it just sucks. So we're rolling out some updated systems that will better detect and punish people who want to ruin your games.
Starting next patch, we'll have improvements to our griefing detection systems that automatically identify and punish players for soft inting and trolling teammates.
Because some people just want to ruin games, we aren't going to share exactly what the system looks for. But it's built to detect things like running around and not contributing to avoid AFK detection, for example. Additionally, moving forward, when you receive report feedback, it will include the name of the offender, similar to how the cheating feedback notifications currently work.
Okay.
We know that this is an area that we really have to get right.
That's right, because if you get a lot of false claims, like people are getting falsely banned when they're not self-griefing, then we have a problem, right?
We've been doing some tests for the last few patches to make sure our number of false positives is low, and we're confident that we should see very few. We'll also continue to
I wouldn't be surprised if they messed that one up.
refine this updated system over time, and we'll talk about it again in another dev update.
Further out, there's more work we'd like to do around smurfing and boosting in particular. That's something that we hope TrueScale 2 can help address, which, as a reminder, is a new matchmaking system that we've been trialing in some regions and modes.
Okay.
We also want to share some numbers from the Vanguard LP refunds that we added in patch 25.6.
Okay.
As of filming, we've refunded over 700,000 LP to over 30,000 unique players who had a cheater in their ranked game.
And since then, around 24,000
That's probably not even a lot, to be fair. The number sounds a lot, but I don't think it is.
cheaters have been successfully
Eliminated.
That's a lot. Aside from punishing players who waste your time by ruining games, we also want to take some time to thank all of you who bring positivity to League.
That is
Whether it's through
strange.
helpful and friendly comms, grouping for objectives, or just fist bumping each other after a great play. We're also seeing a lot of feedback on the recent changes to the honor system that we're working on. We'll be back later when we have some changes to share here.
We have a lot more details on these changes and some updates on changes we've made over the last few patches in a blog that's out now. So go check it out if you'd like to learn more.
All right, we want to talk a bit about modes and metagames. Like we've said before, we think it's important to consistently
I hope
have
there's a
ways
new game
to
mode.
play League outside of standard Summoner's Rift. So, we'll be releasing a new game mode
Okay.
called Brawl.
Brawl is a 5v5 mode where you choose your champion.
Okay.
And it's played on a new map set in the whimsical Bandle City. And your objective
Okay.
is simple. Push your minions into the enemy's base to win, and get rid of anyone who tries to stop you.
No towers, no major objectives, and nothing but your base's health bar to defend. Brawl is intended to be a fun, action-packed mode for players who want
sounds
a
cool.
lower stakes game or are looking to get their friends into League without having
That
to
sounds
deal with all
cool.
the complexity of SR.
Now, games of Brawl have been balanced with snowball mechanics, so while you might be down at some points, you're never truly out, making it perfect for playing with friends of drastically different skill levels.
Whether you're just looking for a fun time trying to play with friends or just want non-stop action, we hope you'll give Brawl a try when it goes live in patch
This would probably
25.10.
be fun
We can't wait to see what
for
you
a
think.
bit, but
Now,
it
if
will
you
get
wanna learn more
stale
about Brawl, check
probably
out the
quite
new dev
quickly.
blog that's out
Kind of like Arena.
Separately,
But it's
though,
still
we also wanna
nice.
take a moment to talk about metagames. We're coming off of the Demon's Hand, and we love seeing all the combos you pulled off. And that's also teaching us a lot about what has and hasn't worked with metagames that we're going to incorporate in future ones.
We will have another metagame coming out in Act 2 of the coming season. As with previous metagames, we're going to keep trying something a bit different each time. All right, we'll hand things over to the Skins team to talk about what they have planned
The
for
Skins
season 2.
team.
Hey everyone, I'm Steph.
That's what
aka
everyone is here
Nuggets.
for, guys.
Tom or Riot Hylia. Today we're here to
Played by
dive into
Riot.
Spirit Blossom and talk about some updates to skins in general.
So there's a lot to discuss, but first and foremost, Spirit Blossom's back, yay! We know you have a lot of fond memories of getting crushed by Cassiopeia and playing tricks with
I'm
Timo.
too old for
And
this.
the contrasting duality of the Spirit Realm just makes for really, really elegant, stunning skins.
Yeah, and this time around, we're actually expanding on Spirit Blossom with even more champions stepping into Ionian folklore. These skins are now a manifestation of the myths told during the festival, like Ashe is the Wandering Queen who guides souls to the spirit realm.
Or Aurelia, who is Ash's ready hand, whose unwavering loyalty led to heartbreak and calamity.
She has so many hands.
No, right? You've got more than she knows what to do with. We've also got Bard, Varys, and my personal favorite, Zyra.
The Bard one
as well
looks
as
so cool.
Ivern and Prestige Spirit Blossom Lux, who will be earnable on the Act 1 paid pass.
Outside of Spirit Blossom, when we
I love
were
how they
looking at
chose
skins
so
for
many
season
skins that are going to sell so well, right? Ashe, Aurelia, Zyra, and whatever the fourth one
two
was.
overall, we took a lot
Lux.
of learnings from season 1.
They're gonna
We
all
wanted to do
sell
a
so
better job
well.
at offering a wider variety of skins that are focused on our champion.
That's
first
crazy.
philosophy.
No
so
shame.
In season 2, we're introducing something we're calling variety skins. Standalone, one-off skins that are either from existing thematics or totally new ones tailor-made for that champion.
The first one will be Pool Party Twitch, which will be earnable on the Act 1 paid pass. And while I'm sure some of you are thinking, what about Twitch Screams Pool Party? I mean, look at him. He's a little rat and he's got a squirt gun. He would totally cause chaos at the family barbecue.
And we gave him a little Hawaiian shirt.
No, he's so precious. He's a little baby.
He's a baby. So anyways, variety skins will give us more room to just focus on making cool skins for individual champions without needing to build them into an entire grouping of thematic skins.
We're also looking at ways to bundle variety skins together into a looser thematic of sorts.
I'm just
like the
old
recent
for
April
this.
Fool's skins. You know, they all have the same core vibe. They're silly, they're goofy, they're fun. But realistically, they could each belong to an individual skin line, like Pool Party or Cats versus Dogs.
We believe that this is a better balance of skins throughout the Spirit Blossom season than we were able to land with Season 1. So let us know what you think. We want to hear your thoughts on how this lands during Season 2. And finally, it's list time.
Yes.
So the
the hell
next
is list
Exalted
time?
skin this season will be Morgana. And then for prestige skins, we'll have Zed on the pass and Aphelios in the Mythic shop during Act 2.
That about wraps things up for us. As always, we would love to hear what you think.
Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon.
Okay, that just about wraps things up for today. In case you missed it, Swift Play is now out globally, so be sure to jump in and play a few matches if you haven't already had the chance.
And while you may have recognized quite a few familiar faces in yesterday's cinematic, there is one who may look new. Yanara is our new champion who will be coming out in Act 2. We don't want to spoil more, but we'll be back before then to share more about her and her connection to the Spirit Blossoms.
And then finally, we wanted to share that in May, we'll be celebrating another pro who has made his mark on League. This player will join the Hall of Legends. He's inspired the next generation of upcoming players, and we can't wait to give him the recognition he deserves.
As always, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the dev blogs, and we'll see you on the Rift.
Until next time. See ya.
Alright. Not a lot, no? The amount of changes here seems to be kind of low, no? Am I the only one who sees this? I mean, gameplay changes. This is the one that I'm mostly interested in, but beautiful Ionian Spirit Blossom Insider map. A new map. Oh, that looks cool. Okay, I like that. No, that looks... I really like that. So, okay, removing Voracious Artican, obviously just a good decision, right? But, and they're basically just keeping, what's the other Artican called? Voracious and Ruinous, right? So, Ruinous Artican is basically staying, but he's just gonna be a lot better. So, to me, Artican just seems to be insanely strong objective. And I feel like every team is gonna want to play for this. This is just way too much of a buff. Probably gonna have to be nerfed. Even for solo queue, I think a buff like this is ridiculously strong. Void objective pacing. Also, with this new Artican, you kind of like care about flowers more. You need to actually care about flowers a bit more. Void objective pacing. So I think, like, yeah, again, they're delaying the void grab spawn and only making one void grab spawn. So okay, wait, let me read this. The first and now only void grab spawns happens later to allow players to focus more on the early laning phase. Okay, that's good, right? But we gotta nerf some biotics also. There actually is a laning phase in League, yeah? Void grab rewards have also been retuned for a max grab count to 3 rather than 6. Now you'll be capped at 1 Void Might, which you'll get after taking 3 grabs. Reef Herald spawn time has also moved a bit earlier to 15 minutes, so spawn times are better spaced out before the 20-minute mark. Okay. Wow. So you only get 3 grabs, and the shanked is only 3 grabs and one Void Might. I'm sorry to say, but the grabs are absolutely useless. You only take them if they're absolutely free. Like, this is probably going to nerf also some split pushing type of team comps. Like, what? The grabs are absolutely useless. Just go to Jargon, bro. There's just no point going to the grabs. You get 1 Void Might and you have the shanked of 3 grabs. This is just irrelevant. Come on now. Also, it's gonna spawn is gonna be later, so we're assuming the spawn time is gonna be at minute 7 or 8, most likely. So yeah, it's actually just useless. While we do want Reef Herald to encourage to bring in a teammate, blah 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 blah. Okay, so Reef Herald is gonna be harder, like she's gonna do some more damage. This is good. Bounty changes. Basically, you're gonna get a bounty if you're on a winning team, right? Like, you need to be in a winning team. If you're a 5-0 Rihanna on a losing team, your fat opponents aren't punching about their weight fighting you, they're virtually guaranteed to claim your shutdown. That is true, yeah. Base skill gets gold getting, blah blah blah. I really think Riot needs to buff first blood gold to 350 gold instead of 300. It would be a very nice change. So this is like the new rose swapping, how it's gonna look like. I mean, this is nice. But yeah, 07 to everyone liking the off-meta builds. You guys just got removed from the game. Wait, additional tuning to anti-lane swap rules. We'll also be revisiting how to tackle lane swaps with the above changes in mind. Our hope from redesigning the lane swap detection and penalties to keep pro play lane swapping at nearly zero, while continuing to reduce its impact on regular players. We still want supports to be able to roam into middle and top lane and pull off a gank, but without penalizing their teammates' income. Therefore, we'll be using role binding as an opportunity to tie our anti-lane swap rules to World Atlas. Same as before, these rules only take effect on teams with a jungler and the detection is looking for support plus another champion in a non-bot lane. Lane swap detection will activate upon seeing a World Atlas in mid or top lane between 135 to 215 and 135 to 3 minutes respectively. At which point the penalties will be placed purely on the support. Huh? Huh? So that means if you lane swap, only the support gets punished. Not the laner anymore. I feel like you could maybe do some cooking with this one. Because like supports don't care a lot about levels. So, okay, mid lane lane swap is going to be 135 to 15. Top lane lane swap is going to be 135 3 minutes. Like, I'm sorry, but you can just lane swap to mid lane. Lane one wave, be at level 1. And then the second wave comes mid lane and your support's gaining XP already, no? What are the penalties? Defending players will still receive perfect golden experience from nearby minions, and the defending turret will still take reduced damage and bonus damage. But instead of reducing all player minion gold XP by 25, the support will no longer be able to cash into their World Atlas stacks and won't receive any gold or experience from lane minions. Yeah, so basically it mega fucks the support. Makes sense. But you know what's also weird? If you're a support, this is another thing they're trying to balance here. Because you have the support role picked in champion select, you automatically start with the support item. That means that support champions, because if that wasn't the case, the support champions would just start a Doran item or something like that, and then base on 300 gold and get the support item, right? Detection still requires 2 non-junglers in the lane, so Zyra holding the mid wave won't be penalized, but once Lissandra returns from her bathroom break, the support will have to leave. Death screen. Wow. What? You can click and it automatically swaps the camera to one of your teammates. Oh. I'm gonna be honest. This seems fine, I guess. This is just mega lazy for like very casual players. I think this is a fine change. Kill streaks. Inspired by Valorant, we're adding some sweet but subtle sound effects to kills that should spice up League's most satisfying moments. I mean, they're literally gonna sell this for money. That's it. Okay. Okay. That's kinda it. I don't think there's anything really to read in the other deblocks. Overall, I think the changes are mostly positive. And the game will not change a lot. It's pretty easy TLDR here. It's just that Otacon will be a bit more OP. And a little bit more important, maybe probably too OP. The Grops are going to be kinda useless and you only get one of them. And the Jargons will be more important by that sense, so probably everyone's gonna be laning, going towards Jargons more. And that's kinda it. I mean, I don't know, there's not much else really going on here. The map will look prettier. Not a lot of changes. I expected more.